Good evening and thank you for joining us. Well, Carly, as we've seen in your headline there, you finally got a chance to talk to Brent Stark. I know that certainly yourself and a lot of people have been wanting to hear from him, really.
Yeah, very much so, and it's just interesting to, we can't yet put a face to the name, obviously, with a little bit of distance issues there, but yeah, we did get a chance to touch base today, and coming up later in the cast, we'll hear from him about what or how he feels about, potentially taking the team from here, and if this initiative of his doesn't work out, if he has plans or the desire to maybe pursue another AJHL franchise.
No, we'll definitely look forward to that. And Gerard, I mean, it looked beautiful out there today.
Yep, well, it's looking beautiful right now this minute. I mean, we had some overcast conditions for some part of it, but I mean, right about now, you'd never know what went on before. So we're thankful for that. And for those of you who've got stuff to do later on this evening, let's see if we can get some of it done. Let's look at what we're dealing with, The wind is still remaining a concern because the wind chill has been in the double digits all day. And if you went out and you weren't properly layered on, you would have felt a little chill in your bone for sure. 69% humidity, the winds out of the east-southeast at 22, and we're at -8, which is today's high temperature. Got there just at around 3 o'clock. The winds will continue out of the southeast at about 20 kilometers an hour, and we've got some precipitation to talk about later on in the Lakeland. We're down at -2, and in the Battlefords, they've certainly enjoyed the better of the sunshine today, also at -8, just like us. We'll talk about it later. Meantime, Jacob, it's back to you.
Vermilion RCMP are investigating a robbery that happened Tuesday at the Mundair Guardian Pharmacy. Police say 2 Caucasian men, each wearing black ski masks and dark clothing, entered the pharmacy and demanded drugs at knife point. The pair filled a backpack with narcotics and cash from a safe at the back of the store and then fled the scene. The suspects are described as skinny Caucasian men between 16 and 25 years old. They're wearing black jackets and pants with black ski masks. One is about 5 feet 10 inches tall and the other is around 6 feet tall. Vehicle of interest in this case is an older model burgundy car which may have Manitoba plates. Police say this incident is almost identical to one which took place at the same pharmacy on February 18th. Both cases are still under investigation. And if you have information about this or any other crime, please contact your local RCMP detachment. Lloydminster is a young and growing city, and the same could be said for its residents. With a boom in population comes added pressure on school systems. Last month, the Catholic School Board was approved for funding for a new school, and in Saskatchewan budget yesterday, there was a green light for the development of a plan for a new public school as well. Lloydminster is known across the province of Saskatchewan as being a rapidly expanding municipality, and the government recognized this in their latest budget.
I think it's easy for them to bring capital and bring cash to our growth areas and needs because they acknowledge that Saskatoon, Regina, down south towards Estevan, and of course Lloydminster are some pretty hot growth areas. The Sask Party tries to prioritize their disbursement of infrastructure funding, and the new school in the border city was high on the list.
It's taxpayers' dollars which we allocate, and we have to allocate them appropriately. And when we've got growing school-age populations and prosperous towns like Lloydminster, that is the appropriate place to ensure that we have the educational facilities for our young people.
With 9 out of 10 schools in Lloydminster over capacity, the decision to get a new one under development was a welcome announcement.
This is overdue from our schools' perspective, and we know that we've got children on stages, we've got portable labs we've had to put in place. New schools so that we can continue to build the great education system that we have and build on it is what we want to do.
Many schools have added those portable rooms, but this only relieves the classroom pressure.
But what we're putting a lot of pressure on is that core space, because libraries are designed to handle capacity. And so as we continue to add relocatables, we relieve the classroom utilization rate because we put less kids in classrooms. But what it does do is it doesn't alleviate that pressure that we're experiencing when kids change classes.
And while deciding where and when to build has yet to be determined, the next phase of the process is something everyone can participate in.
We'll be engaging the architect to work with the community. As we said, we believe that the community owns the school, not us. And so kids, adults, parents, a cross-section of people in the community will be involved in a process where the architects will facilitate this. And what we're hoping at the end of the day is that the community will feel like they own the school.
GI is reporting an increase in the number of collisions with wildlife occurring on highways. This winter is forecast to be especially bad as there are more animals on the move. Today, Jenna Bridges learned some precautions to take on the road so you can avoid a roadkill situation.
Winter 2011 could make for one of the worst when it comes to damages to cars that have the unfortunate luck of hitting wildlife on the highways.
If you see something on the side of the road, just try to reduce your speed accordingly. There are some peak times to watch out for, but you also need to to be aware that it could happen at any time.
Heavy amounts of snow like Saskatchewan saw this past winter force animals like deer to roam further to try and find food.
A lot of times you might see reflections in the ditches as far as animals' eyes, coyotes, deer, that sort of thing. Just keep an eye out for that.
If you kind of consider that there's more wildlife in the province, there's more licensed drivers in the province, it sort of makes sense that we would be seeing higher collisions, but it certainly is a problem.
More deer on the move mean more animals darting across the highways to escape predators, especially coyotes. RCMP say it's important to give yourself enough time and avoid swerving into the ditch or oncoming traffic to avert a collision.
Usually it's big corrections and they're in the other ditch or they're rolled or whatever the case is. So if you're gonna hit it, just try and come to a smooth stop and hit it square on. Yeah.
It's important to notify RCMP if you do hit an animal, and when it comes to cleaning up roadkill, the Ministry of Highways is responsible for removing animals and debris. All motorists are encouraged to contact the ministry if there is anything on the road that may impede the safety of drivers. Jenna Bridges, Newcap News.
The Alberta government is planning on altering a bill to ensure hunt farms remain banned in the province. However, that stand is raising a stir among farmers that believe the government is missing the boat on a multi-million-dollar industry. In 2002, the Alberta government banned hunt farms in the province. Despite some recent speculation, that stance hasn't changed, which is disappointing to some of the region's elk ranchers.
We feel that market should be available to our producers right here in Alberta. And, hopefully one day it will be, but today's not the day. Bill 11 has nothing to do with hunt ranches.
Hunt ranches are illegal in Saskatchewan and some other parts of North America. This makes some ranchers question why it's frowned upon in Alberta.
I'm raising this animal here. He's my property, and like any good Albertan, property rights is really important, and we would like to do what we need to do with our property in order to make a living.
Millions of dollars could be made for Alberta ranchers if hunt farms were to become legalized. However, all that Elko can do now is hope for the best.
Some true, honest discussion about what it really is and what the opportunity is and what we believe our producers and Alberta as a whole is missing out on, I think has to be talked about one day. Today obviously is not the day, and that's okay for now.
The temperature is still well below zero. Summer might seem like a long way off, but the next trade show to hit the border city should get gardeners thinking about better days ahead. That story and more after the break.